everyone, welcome to the Star Wars Popcast. My name is Christopher.
And my name's Patrick.
And we are talking about anything and everything Star Wars pop related. That's anything from news to reveals to speculation. And on this episode, our first episode, we're going to be talking about Bad Batch Season 2, which Funko Pops we could see. Also, we're going to be talking about that re-release of the Star Wars Celebration Funko Pops. But first, let's get into what can you do with those pocket pops from the Star Wars Holiday Advent Calendar.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's a really great thing to mention, Chris, because I know we had talked about this earlier, and I think we both had some really neat ideas. So I'll start, if you don't mind, Chris.
Yeah.
One of the things that I did with my pops, I wanted to reutilize them in a unique way, so I ended up making little snow globes out of them.
Yeah.
So, especially with the snowmen, I wasn't a big fan of what Funko did with the regular line of the holiday Funko Pops this year. But I must say, in the Advent calendar, they actually look or work better as the minis. I don't know about you. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Like, I didn't end up picking up any of the full-size snowman pops, but, like, as a little micro pocket pops is what
Yeah,
they're
I don't know
called.
what it is. The mini size sells me better, and then being able to do these little snow globes, and I'll probably be doing a video on my channel. Just a real quick, probably short tutorial on how I did it. But yeah, very easy. Just kind of went to Hobby Lobby, bought these little globes. I think at the time they're like 60% off.
Yeah.
Little hot glue, little glitter, and a little baby oil, and voila.
Yeah. Yeah, so and I think you posted a picture to your social media too, didn't you? So I think
I did. I think I shared it with a couple people too in our group there, just to give some ideas. But you had another great idea because okay, I have a couple snow globes.
Yeah.
Don't want to fill my house with a bunch. And then there were some other ones I saved because I was like, oh, they're cool. I don't necessarily want to put them in the snow globe and only have them out for that. But you had some ideas, and when you came up with that, I was like, now I know what to do with the rest of them.
Yeah.
So go on, tell us what you're going to do.
So
with
my
yours.
idea, so I just have them sitting in a little like shopping bag right now because I'm gonna keep them all. But I was thinking of putting like a little one of those little screws in the top of their heads and put an ornament hook on them, and bam, you got some ornaments for your Christmas tree. So
absolutely,
that's my
idea.
idea.
As soon as you said that, I was like, now I know what I'm doing with the rest. So I've already packed mine up for next Christmas. To do exactly just that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I was going to put the little screw, like I thought that was a solid idea, a little screw, maybe a little hot glue to keep that in.
Yeah.
Or do I just take the little hooks, bendable, and like maybe glue that right on there, hot glue it? I don't know. But I'll try to figure that out come next holiday season. But I think that would be a fantastic way to repurpose those to have a little Christmas ornaments. And they're already Christmas painted and thematic, so that'd be great.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so actually, before we move on to our next topic, like, what did you think about the variety of characters in that? Like, because I feel like it was kind of lacking.
That's a touchy one, Chris. I after seeing your review on it, I agree with a lot what you said. I think that they did do a lot of cool versions of them, but at the same time, too many of the same. Like, I would have rather had something a little more, like I personally would have liked kind of like the Lego Star Wars like Christmas ugly sweaters.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a relevant thing. I mean, I think I even bought myself a Hoth ugly sweater to wear to this year's ugly sweater Christmas party at one of my friends' houses. So I would have much rather seen them in that than pajamas. Even the Han Solo with the light blue.
Yeah,
I didn't like that
festive.
one. They could have gave him the blood stripes or something and did that in red and green, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of what they did with like Vader and the Stormtrooper. They did like red and green versions,
Yeah.
which I would have much rather seen those as the regular size pop than the minis that we got with the snowmen.
Yeah.
The mini snowmen are unique as its own, but I also found it weird they did a Darth Maul, but yet they didn't do that in a larger size.
Right? Yeah.
Right?
And
So there's a lot of disconnects with things I saw, and like the Boba Fett's, like in your review, they had one that was all Christmassy. Then they had another one that was kind of Christmassy, but the only thing different I noticed was you had one was, I guess, representing Empire Strikes Back, original trilogy, and the other one, because he had the black with the armor and all that, that was more of a Book of Boba Fett Boba Fett. So it wasn't quite the same, slightly different.
Yeah, just the paint colors.
Yeah, I'd like the Chewie and the lights and the C-3PO and Yoda, that we had the large ones made as minis. Those look great.
Yeah, those look great.
I love the
like
ice ones.
Yeah, the ice ones were great. I feel like they missed out on a lot of characters from the sequel trilogy, from the shows. Like
I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, they had a BB-8, but like they didn't do like, what was that? A little droid, Dio?
Oh, the DXO,
Dio or whatever. Yeah.
You know what? Knowing what they had lined up for this holiday season, I was surprised too. That why didn't we get a baby Grogu? You have a million Grogu pops, and you didn't do that in the minis. Like that was a big miss to me. That was a big miss. And then having a snowy Darth Vader, and then on the 24th to get like I don't know if they call that the diamond glitter when you get the kind of, the glittery kind of look to them. I didn't know if that was quite the diamond or what they did, but we already got that a few days before or a week before, and then they get it again with a slight difference, very slight difference.
Yeah, very slight.
Yeah, I think the one to end up putting into the snow globe was the one that wasn't the glittery, just to kind of keep it and put that as an ornament. But the other one that wasn't glittery and the stormtrooper version, those I made in the snow globes. But
yeah,
I was kind of, I liked it, but I was a little disappointed.
Yeah.
2 Princess Leia's, slight different paint scheme.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I would have liked a little bit cooler, a little bit slicker, because I did see some of Marvel's. I mean, they have like Spider-Man wearing the hat and some cool poses. So you can't say you couldn't have done it, because we've seen what you've done with other lines. So I don't know, a little disappointed, but
hopefully next time they do a better job at it.
Well, maybe we'll have more characters to draw from, right?
Yes.
Because we're going to have Bad Batch, we're going to have Andor, we had Tales of the Jedi, we're going to have Ahsoka, Mandalorian. So I would hope, to not even get a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Or
like you mentioned, a Grogu.
The biggest show on network TV or subscription paid TV.
Yeah.
And you didn't get a mini pop for that? I just feel they're missing the boat on somebody. I don't know why, but
I think they missed the boat on a bunch of them. Yeah, for sure.
Everyone and the advent calendar is kind of like an added thing. I mean, most collectors don't really find the necessity to have them.
Yeah.
So give us a reason to buy it.
Exactly.
Instead of just kind of cranking out to crank it out, give us a reason. Like the Lego one, I think has done so well over the years because they always have unique minifigures and things like that.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so successful. That anyone who's collected those. That's why they got, and I think Funko kind of followed that same path in order to do the mini pops. But I just felt like they just missed the mark just slightly on it. I still like them. Don't get me wrong. I think the mini versions are great, but they could just hit a little more variety of characters, and a little more thought to the paint schemes. I think, and I think it'll be a winner.
Yeah, me too. So moving on to the next topic. I guess, what was it, a couple weeks ago they re-released those Celebration exclusive...
The Reeboks? The
Reeboks ones, and they rebranded it as A New Hope or something?
I don't know what to say on that, Chris. I mean, I understand from a collecting point that everybody wants to have that sculpt, right? Because they are fantastic. Not going to lie on that. Funko did a fantastic job on those sculpts.
Yes.
For the Luke, the Leia, the Vader, the Chewie. They all look great.
Yeah, the Stormtrooper.
My only thing is, especially the Stormtrooper, because I think that was the first time we got a Stormtrooper that actually looked really, really snazzy.
Yeah.
Like in just the white, because the only ones you've had are usually like your Pride, your Make-A-Wish, your Valentine's, and then they had that exclusive Sand Trooper.
Yeah.
But all the other ones had the older style where they had the dots for the eyes.
Yeah, and those were really
Yeah, so I thought that this Celebration one was a fantastic looking Stormtrooper. Fantastic detail. Love the paint, love the sculpt. And to go from making that with the chrome base to just the black base, I don't really care, but I did like the chrome base looked nice with the packaging and everything for the Celebration. I just feel that, just to repackage it, I understand that people wanted to get them. They couldn't get the Celebration ones.
Yeah.
The con exclusives. But a little disappointed it was just a repackage.
Yeah,
that's my only personal opinion on that.
It's really lazy of Funko to do that, I think.
I think I try to look at it as from the marketing sense too. Like, not everyone can get it. They like the sculpt.
Yeah.
Is it, how do I differentiate? Well, it's going to have a different package and it's going to have the different base. Okay, I'll give you that. So I understand the reason to get those pops out into more people's hands, because the Chewbacca one's beautiful. Like we said, that Stormtrooper one's great.
Yeah.
And
Luke,
I think
the
even
Leia.
the Luke and the Leia are just so well done.
Yeah.
They're posing, the sculpts, the outfits. Like Luke's, we've never had a nicer looking Luke, I think.
Yeah.
In the A New Hope version, I should say.
Right.
Because we've had plenty of different Lukes, throughout the last year or so. But I would say Luke from A New Hope, that's the best sculpt we've gotten.
Yeah, one of the best. And if you're not sure which pops we're talking about here, I did do reviews on all of them on my other channel. I'll leave a link to both of our other channels in the description below as well. But yeah, no. Overall, I was disappointed with that announcement. Like, I'm not gonna get the other set. Like, the only difference is the base.
No.
So.
If anything, I'll try to even finish the Celebration, because I really did like the packaging on that. I love the black with the silver. Thought that looked great. I honestly wish that that they kind of went. Well, you know how Hasbro has that kind of vintage line with the silver. Somebody years ago, when Funkos first started coming out, and it just kind of sparked they did a retro package. They made their own packaging with the stars and that, and it just really looked nice. So when they did the Celebration Funkos this year, it kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah.
But their own take on it, so I really like that, and I'd really like to kind of see. I'd like to see Funko kind of go with that more retro-y kind of Kenner look, if you will.
Yeah.
The old school Kenner, Hasbro, look to that at this point. It would be kind of neat. Like the one I was kind of surprised they didn't do that too, is they have that Boba Fett where they made him look like the action figure.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that would have been one to have done. Then I think another one that I would have liked to have seen was the 3-pack of the Cantina guys.
Yes.
Because those look exactly like the original figure. So for me, it would have been nice to call back. And the reason I'm even thinking this in my head is because in photographing them, I have those pops, actually.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, how do I want to photograph? And one of the things was, do I photograph them to make them look like they're in the package of a bubble of an old Kenner figure?
Yeah.
Or do I get the old Kenner Cantina and stand them with that and kind of pose them around that and work that into the shot?
Yeah.
And I'm leaning more towards that now, just because there's that vintage feel. There's that connectivity to that line of figures to the Funko. So that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I just picked those ones up too, actually, last month. So.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah,
It's funny. Awesome. I had been searching for mine for months and months and months, and then I forgot I had another shelf in my my library where I had a shelf they had emptied out and put pops in the back, and I forgot that I stuck all my creatures. The creatures didn't quite go, like Snaggletooth and those. So I found them the other day, and I was like, oh, because I've been looking, and I honestly thought I might have just gotten rid of them.
Yeah.
I might have by accident.
So I'll be doing a review on those soon. You're going to be taking some pictures soon of them.
Yes. I think you did one the other day that we were laughing about this morning, where you did the 3-pack, the Cloud City.
The Cloud City 3-pack. Yeah.
Because I actually had my Ugnaught here ready to go, and when I saw that, I just started laughing. I was like, man, Chris and I don't even know it, but we're very connected in many ways with our thought process, because I had him queued up to photographed him last evening.
I picked him up end of last month, I think, middle of last month. So.
That pack I had to buy just for Lobot. I always thought he was just a weird, interesting looking dude with the little headsets.
But
and
the
I liked how
Ugnaught's pretty cool. The Ugnaught is pretty
and the
cool
Ugnaught, just little guy and great. And when you'll see the final image, very similar to Boba gets his bounty, I was able to use my, as I call the virtual volume, using my computer monitor.
Yeah.
But I was able to get another image with the carbon freezing chamber thing it's already going down into the chamber to pull something out of it.
Yeah.
And that's why I use that shot with my little Ugnaught walking around. But the Ugnaught he's just awesome looking, and you'll see. Yeah. I really like that guy.
Yeah.
Really like that guy.
Yeah, and like you and I have talked about on some of my streams on my other channel, like that's the one thing Funko gets right are aliens and droids.
Yeah. I mean, I noticed last night when I was photographing, because I did a little retouch around his little lip where it had a little overbite in the paint.
Yeah.
But just the teeth, he's got the little snaggly teeth coming up and everything, like a warthog kind of pig-like
Yeah.
alien. It's just the detail's so nice. And then his little smock that he's got on with his little pens or whatnot in there. It's a sharp looking pop. It's very, very, I would say, underrated. He's a little guy.
Yeah.
Very underrated, and definitely something. I was glad to see you pick up that 3-pack, because when
Yeah.
I got it,
I
was
was
like,
really
this is
happy to
something I
get
want.
that. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that one. Another one that I need to get is the Death Star one with the 3 different, the Death Star Trooper. I think it's got the cannon firing guy and somebody else. I think it's just another Imperial.
Yeah. All right, so let's move into our main topic then for this episode. Bad Batch Season 2 Funko Pops we'd like to see, because at the time when this episode goes live, we've already seen 2 episodes, or maybe 3 by the time this episode goes live. So we know from the trailer, at least, we're getting a whole new set of the Bad Batch in different outfits, so... Those are a given. We're gonna get a whole new, all 5 of the Bad Batch. But
I agree with that yellow paint scheme.
Yeah, the yellow paint scheme, which it does look great.
So, and knows what kind of characters are. So, let's start with, I think if we're doing this one, we're going to get the Bad Batch completely redone.
Yeah.
With their helmets, of course. I think, the one set they did without the helmets is great, but I'll be honest, I think they look 10 times cooler with the helmets on.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna do another version without their helmets. They did it once. Yeah.
I think that's a one and done, and if you folks haven't picked it up, definitely pick that 5-pack up, because it's definitely cool. And I know I've been working on an image. Like, I started an idea and a concept, got inspired by another artist I saw on social media, and rethought the whole process. I kind of put the brakes on, and switched motors and went to other things. But yeah, I want to get back, photograph them again. I think that they just look so much cooler with the helmets. But I think new ones, I would like a new Omega. I think the Omega with that kind of the hat, she kind of reminds me of the Rebel hats that company Gabbercrete makes. Just a really neat look with the little ripples in the top. I mean, if you see their ball cap, like a Rebel ball cap, and what she's wearing, very similar.
Yeah.
So I really want to see her with that and her bow.
Yes.
I need to see the bow.
Because the bow would look great, because it would have that clear
the
colored
purplish,
acrylic. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I you're right where I'm thinking. I think that is going, and when they do that, if they don't do that, they're shooting themselves in the foot, because that is a take my money opportunity right there.
Yeah.
As a Funko.
Yeah.
I do think, and I don't know, but I do think we could get a new Cody Pop.
That would be great. That would be amazing. A new Cody Funko Pop, because we've only got one Cody.
One.
Yeah.
And think of the price. I've got that guy, and I didn't. That's what I didn't save boxes, and I went, toss that out.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, damn, I wish I saved that. But he's actually one of the first pops I started photographing, in my series of toy photographers. Is that pop. So I kind of have a little bit of homage to that one, because I always thought that was cool. I can't tell you how many times I would go into Walgreens and kind of saw that sitting on the shelf before I finally picked it up. And I'm glad I did, because it's hard to come by.
Yeah.
And my Walgreens nowadays doesn't seem to carry any Star Wars pops. So I really enjoy that pop. And he's so hard to get.
Yeah.
I think for anyone that got into collecting the Star Wars Funko, really lost out on that one, because the price is shot through the roof.
Yeah.
And there's so many other pops you want to get, but him holding a hologram,
it's a cool pose. It's a
great scene.
Yeah.
It's a great pop. And so this time, what can we get? I don't know. I hope we get one of him. I don't know if his armor's going to change a bit.
Yeah, because he is in the trailer. He's in the trailer, so I think his armor.
Right, but I don't think he has his helmet on. I think he's talking to
so
Crosshair.
Even an unmasked version of Cody would be cool too.
Here's the thing: if you're going to do an unmasked version, have him hold the helmet.
Yeah,
that would be a little be cooler.
That'd be cool.
No helmet.
Yeah,
have him hold the helmet, or even pose the foot that it's standing on the helmet, like one foot standing on the helmet. Include the helmets, or let's get Funko Pops. We could pop the helmets off the heads. That'd be cool too.
That'd be cool too. So
You know?
another character that we saw in the trailer was Sid. Um, who was
Yeah.
she voiced by? I want to say.
Is it Rhea Perlman
Yes.
from Cheers?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So great character in the first season. I'm surprised we didn't get a Funko Pop of her already. So I think
I was very surprised on that too.
I think season 2 will probably get a Sid Funko
We should,
Pop.
because she's definitely coming back, you
Yeah.
know. And it looks, and so I'm kind of curious: are we only going to get her in a earlier portion or later portion? Because I do see there's a new character that Wanda Sykes is voicing. That seems to kind of be in the mix. So is she gonna kind of take over Rhea Perlman's character Sid left off or not? I don't know.
Yeah. Was
But I
that
could see
character in
that.
the trailer? Did we see that new character?
Yeah, her character, Wanda Sykes' character, is in the trailer.
Okay.
Yeah, and talking directly to the Bad Batch. So she's got some kind of connection and something going on there. So I'm not quite sure what it is, but yeah there's something.
So that's another character we could get as well. I'm thinking a Captain Rex Funko Pop with the poncho.
Oh, yeah, that would be
'Cause
kind of cool.
We see him wearing the poncho again in the trailer.
True that. That would be a really nice one because again, that Captain Rex Funko Pop is on my list. I think it's on your list.
It's on my list. Yeah,
so many people want that one.
I picked up the Rebels one, but I still want that Clone Wars one.
I think they're only going to pick it up as coming through some estate sale or something where someone passed that was a Funko collector like you and I, and everybody else in their family's like, oh, these stupid plastic bobbleheads, and they're like giving them for $5.
Yeah,
that's good. That's how people are going to end up getting one of those grails at this point.
Yeah,
because they're so hard to come by. I think that you're not getting anything less than $500 for that stuff.
No, I see them for like $600-$700 out here.
Yeah. So it's crazy. I love that pop. I love the designs on his helmet with the wolf design. It's so cool. And that's the other thing. Are we going to see, because in Rebels, right? I'm not I hope I'm not spoiling anything. If you haven't seen Rebels, you're going to run into Rex and his buddies again. So are we going to see them in this next season of Bad Batch?
Yeah, because we know they survived Order 66, so...
Yeah. And how many other clones will we see? Because... we see the one in Obi-Wan panhandling.
Yeah.
At first, I thought, is that Rex or somebody? Is that him? Is that
I think that's what everyone thought when they first saw him. Okay, so yeah, we could get a whole bunch of different clones. So like in the Bad Batch, like you mentioned, like all these clones that survived Order 66, like they could show up because I think in the trailer, was it Omega or one of the Bad Batch members says something that maybe it was Echo, where he said there's other people who need us now.
Yes,
or something.
I think I watched that scene the other day.
That could be some other clones that he's referring to, maybe.
I think you're right. I think it is Echo talking about that. Well, there was that other clone from the last season. He kind of had like the teal colors, the teal and gray. I can't remember the name of that clone, but he was already kind of I don't know if he had it go off or it didn't go off on him, but he was questioning it quite a bit, and I think was being seized as a traitor by his own troop.
So maybe if we see him show up again, maybe we'll get him as a Funko Pop as well.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be a good possibility.
Yeah.
Another one, Palpatine. We saw Palpatine in the trailer. Do you think we'll get a Palpatine Funko Pop?
You know what? We've never gotten an animated version of him, like a cool looking animated. That would be kind of neat because you have your ones from the movies and you have the retro series one, and Red Blade, of course, the Red Blade series. But yeah, that would be a cool one to see. I wouldn't mind
if they could
that.
do something different, because how many poses can you have Palpatine in where he's in his robe?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you'd have to almost do something to make him look more of the cartoon character, because I think of the cartoon character, his face seems to be a little more squished.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it feels a little more compressed in the face a little bit. But I don't know. Yeah, I'd like to see that. I'm curious too to see what other characters might we run into in this season as well.
Yeah.
Will we get any connective tissue? Will we get them talking to Mon Mothma? Hashtag let's get something for Bail, right? Like we always joke with Andrea that Bail Organa is still. can we get a Bail Organa pop possibly? Maybe this might be the thing that gets us there.
Yeah. Clearly, there's going to be other Imperial officers, like we had. What was his name? Admiral Rampart or something from the first season. Maybe we see him again.
Quite possibly, yeah.
At the end of the first season, we saw. Delta? We saw Delta Squad, didn't we? At the end of the last season.
Yes, we did. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing that kind of specialty trooper, because we only have the one trooper boss or what from the Gaming Greats.
From the Gaming Greats, yeah.
But I'd like to see him in more souped up looking armor, looking a little more badass.
Yep.
I could for sure see us getting something like that. Or how about a Lama Su or something like? We don't have any Kaminoans. Yeah, I would love to see her, because I think wherever they went at the end of the season, I think that's going to be a bigger part of the story, because we have no more Kamino. We have no more Kamino. So now we're going to get into. I have a feeling we're going to start getting to the bridging of what we knew from Revenge of the Sith going into the prequel and sequel trilogy, from the original trilogy segueing into the sequel trilogies. You're going to have to start building up that tissue. Like, I don't think we have to go necessarily from Bad Batch to figuring out Snoke, but maybe we start seeing a little bit of that. Like, I thought The Mandalorian might be hinting towards that. Like, that's the first experiments of trying to get Snoke or create Snoke. So I think that might be something there.
But definitely we should get like a Lama Su or, like you said, another Kaminoan Funko Pop. That would be cool.
Yeah.
That's something we could see.
I personally want to see... We see him in the trailer. Was it Gungi, the Wookiee?
Yes, the Wookiee Jedi.
I mean, I'll be honest. That's why I picked out my elemental lightsaber, was seeing his, how it looked like it was wood. And I just thought that was so different, so cool.
Yeah. Does that mean we're going to see some other Jedi in this Bad Batch Season 2?
I don't know.
We should get some Funko Pops.
You know what? I don't necessarily know I need to see a whole lot. I kind of like to think that, we don't need to see the whole story. The Inquisitors are going out hunting as many as they can, right?
Yeah.
And we got Obi-Wan, being one of the few that really escaped that purge. And I don't think we've seen much with Cal Kestis yet. I think they're going to be saving that for March for that game. And quite honestly, I'm thinking March and March 12th, Ahsoka coming out, like, could we get a little crossover here to kind of sell those together and have a little connective tissue? I'd like to hope so. Because that actor who plays Cal Kestis was in Shameless, and he's phenomenal. He's a phenomenal actor. I think they even brought him into Gotham for a while.
Yeah, he was.
Like, he was going to be the Joker. I thought he was great, young Joker. So I'd like to see more of him, because I think he's got some great chops as an actor, and I'd love to see him live action finally. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. All the tissue's there. All the connective pieces are there. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. So will we see him in this? No, but I know we're going to see that young Wookiee, which is a great callback to Clone Wars. I don't think a lot of people, Andrea, this is going towards you, for not having watched Clone Wars. I don't know if you've seen that character until this trailer. So please watch that, because I think that's when they went to Ilum. Am I right? Ilum or something like that?
Is it Ilum? Yeah.
Where it was like that frosty, snowy, kind of Hoth-like planet, and they had to learn and to get their crystals and stuff.
Yep.
So I think that's where we first meet him. So I would love to see, him, maybe a few of those other ones come back. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But if not...
I don't think too many Jedi should show up.
No, if anything, I'm hoping, and this is my hope, I would like to see, because again, Lucas always likes to have those kind of heartbeats, those repetitive things. Okay, so you have Boba Fett with Fennec Shan, like he's got his right hand, just like you have Han and Chewie, right? You got your, right? So you got your, now, what if Boba Fett's twin has Gungi, kind of like he's now going to have Chrysanthemum on his side, Boba Fett. So I would like to see her, Omega, and Gungi kind of eventually they have their own story going forward.
Yeah,
I'd love that.
That's a couple other characters. So last season we saw Cad Bane and we saw Fennec Shan show up.
True, and
So
there's
do we
there's a
get
lot more
Funko
unfinished
Pop from them?
business. I
Like
think
we
so.
got the Cad Bane Funko Pop last year, so I don't think we'll get another Cad Bane.
Yeah, and I
But
think that
maybe
one
another
came with the
Fennec
little
Shand.
Toto, right? I'm
Yes.
pretty sure, which is cool. I like that little added
So
detail.
maybe another Fennec Shand Funko Pop.
See, the thing is, the Fennec Shand, I'm a little disappointed in some of the pops because a lot of them had the helmet off to show her hair.
I'd like to see one
Helmet.
with the helmet.
Helmet,
Yeah.
a cool one, helmet. I know it, and have her with her sniper rifle out, like
Yeah.
locked and loaded, ready to take someone down because that's what she's good at, right? She's a masterful assassin. So let's get
Yeah.
the helmet. Let's get her ready to, shoot somebody. That would be great because I think there's way too many with the helmet off.
Yeah, and maybe we see a Boba Fett show up in the Bad Batch this season.
It could happen. I think there's such a big loss in the story of. I don't know about you, but if you knew you had a long lost twin sister, what would the first thing you do, Chris? Right? You'd search.
Yeah, I'd search.
You'd want to know the rest of that story, because that's a part of you that's literally physical, connected, biological tissue, right? So like you're going to
Yeah.
want to know what the other half of you is like. Now, knowing that, I have a feeling that Omega is a special project. I think that they crossbred her with a Force user. That's my theory. Just
Yeah, I
her
don't
being able
know.
to predict she was in Sid's little casino playing the games and stuff. That's not just being able to think quick, in advance like the clones have their own little thing. I think
Yeah.
there's more towards her, and that's why Lama Su was staying so close to her and very protective of Omega. I think there's more to that story.
Yeah, she is definitely more enhanced than the other clones.
I think so, and also, isn't there something with the aging because she was there to see them get made, and she's still half their age.
Yeah, so she's got regular aging DNA.
Does she? Did they do something to that too? Who knows? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly, as weird as it was, I kind of was hoping that the Tusken Raiders that Boba Fett found, and I knew it would be too easy, but I thought it would have been neat if maybe Omega went into hiding and became that female badass Tusken. That's what I was hoping for a while. Like that was a theory in my head. That would be enlightening. Like she takes him on, doesn't know why she felt this connective way of wanting or why she needed to teach him anything. Like, why didn't they just kind of barbecue him like they would anyone else? I don't know. I thought maybe there could have been something there. So I don't know, but I think that would be a nice addition to the Funkos, like getting Gunji and Omega together. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Now, what about potential pop rides? Like we haven't gotten a pop ride from a TV series yet.
Yeah, I mean, the Bad Batch vehicle would be kind of cool, but
Yeah, the Havoc Marauder.
yeah,
Maybe have Hunter
or
that
Tech driving it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. Even a speeder bike with any of them would be kind of neat.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. It really is hard to say. Like, I'd love to see them all on a transport ship. Like holding on like they're about to jump out of a transport ship. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be massive, but
Yeah.
I mean, it can't be any smaller than my 18-inch Boba Fett that I still haven't unboxed and still haven't figured where I'm putting it once I unbox it.
Yeah. So I think that's about it for characters that could show up that we'd like to see.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I think Bail, Mon Mothma
Bail, yeah, Mon Mothma.
could have a little thing.
Tarkin, there's another one, Tarkin.
And Saw Gerrera, right?
Saw Gerrera.
We've
Yeah,
seen
we did
him.
see him last year.
We've had him in
season.
animated too, and we've had him in both Clone Wars and Rebels.
And he was in Bad Batch season 1 as well.
Yeah, so he's kind of. I think he's the one character that has gone through everything because he's been in Rogue One. He's in Andor as well. So we're really getting more backstory to that character as well, which is again kind of cool. I think what we're going to see in Star Wars now, like I was alluding to earlier, is it's going to be a very gray area where if you were always a fan of the Imperials and everyone thought you were a fan of the bad guys, well, you're going to learn that maybe they weren't really always the bad guys
Yeah.
from a certain point of view, as Obi-Wan would say, right? From a certain
Yeah.
point of view. So you're going to kind of get that. And I think that, the Rebels, their story is going to get a little more tainted over the years. We're going to see that not everything is black and white. There's a lot of gray in the galaxy, they were trying to do everything. And I mean, I think Andor, I know a lot of people, you're either you love it or you hate it. And I feel bad if you're not enjoying it, because I think with that, at least gives you that idea that there's something building, right? There's this whole build, whether it's in the show and they have the episodes, but there's this huge build to something. And you have a character like Andor that we already know how his story ends. And now we're kind of putting the pieces together, what gets him from A to Z, right? So we're going to see that. But I think we're going to get a lot more unfolding of that to start a rebellion, to bring the good guys for a reason. There's a lot of sacrifices. And I think in Andor, Luthen really had it well. I have to use the tactics and the weapons of my enemies. He is now being pulled to the bad, right? He's being pulled to be a bad person just to do what's right. So I think it's kind of interesting now that you have a good blend in Star Wars where it's not just black and white, good and bad. The bad guys think they're actually, doing the right thing. Obviously, you got your Tarkins and Vaders that, kind of, have I think a broader scope of the real story that's going on compared to everybody else. They're just kind of like, following orders. But I think
that's another character. Could we see Vader in Bad Batch?
I think you have to, maybe.
At some point, right?
At some maybe point. At the end, I think as an ending kind of thing, you're going to have to.
And then that's another potential pop we could get.
Yeah. I don't think we'll see Ahsoka. I don't think so. I don't think we'll see Ahsoka. I think Ahsoka you don't really see until Rebels.
Yeah.
She kind of comes back. So I think her disappearance where, she was fighting Vader, this and that, and Rebel and that, I think to have her gone, she's probably in the, probably working with Bail and what's her face, Mon Mothma. I think that she's working together with them now to try to build it, or maybe she's not even part of that as of yet. It's interesting to see where Tales of the Jedi really picks up before that, because Bail brings her back into the fold.
But I don't think she'll be in Bad Batch either.
No, I don't. Yeah. I think that'd be too much.
Yeah. So
because you don't want to overload it.
I think that's pretty much it. That's all the speculating we could do for for now, for what Bad Batch pops we could get until we see the show. So we'll definitely have to do another episode on the Bad Batch Season 2 Funko Pops, which ones we could get later after we have all episodes. What is it? How many episodes are they doing? Like 16 or 24 or something like that?
I didn't even look yet.
Yeah, it's quite a few.
I kind of like it when they have a lot and I don't know, because I kind of feel like when you know and you're like, you start counting them down, you're like, oh, I've only got one more left.
Yeah.
Then I've got a huge Star Wars show hole.
But I think we're going to be okay. We start off, I think there's going to be quite a few. But, yeah, no, we'll have to wait and see once the whole season's done, and then we'll have to come back and revisit this topic again in another episode of the Star Wars Popcast here. But I think that'll do it for this episode. Patrick, let people know where they can find you when you're not on this Popcast with me.
All right. When I'm not here on the Star Wars Popcast, you can find me over at Toy Photographer. That's ToyPhotogfr, kind of like a license plate. Toy Photographer. And on my channel, I photograph nothing but Star Wars Funko Pops and create some creative and unique images out of them.
Yeah, and then when I'm not on the Star Wars Funko or Star Wars Popcast, you can find me over at Seriously Star Wars doing Star Wars reviews, mostly Funko Pops, but also some Black Series figures as well. So that's where you can find me when I'm not on the Star Wars Popcast. But thank you for watching, and thank you for listening wherever you guys are listening to this podcast on. And we'll catch you in the next episode.